Douglas Adams, could we have avoided this Y2K problem somehow?
Well, it does seem to me to be extraordinary that the computer industry, which of all industries in the world is the most focused on the future and how's the future going to develop, where are we going, is the one industry that failed to predict that the century was going to end. I mean, it doesn't give you a great deal of confidence, does it? The other thing, of course, we failed to predict, I mean, going back about 5 or 6 years ago, was the coming of the World Wide Web, which, of course, now is the computer industry. But no, I think it was, yes, we certainly should have avoided it. It makes you worry about, things. There are other things we know are going to happen one day. I mean, like that the sun will explode. I know it's 4 billion years away, but, I wish I had a little bit more confidence that we would actually get our act together before then and find some other way of of dealing with things.
Well, the problem is it's going to cost us, the world, trillions of dollars,
yes,
perhaps.
Absolutely.
We really need to be more cautious next century.
Well, we don't know. Of course, one hears such widely diverging claims as to what's going to happen, on January the 1st. You do know that in China it's not going to be a problem. Do you know this thing they've done in China?
No.
Which is that all the airline chiefs are required by law to travel by air on January the 1st.
To fly that night,
yeah.
Yes. We've probably got quite a lot of airline chiefs.
Yeah.
But talking about building a better mousetrap, you've built a better book. In other words, Starship Titanic, which is an interactive.
That's right.
You've got all those voices, there's hundreds of thousands of lives. What happened? Was it successful?
Well, first of all, I've never claimed that it's a better type of book any more than television is a better type of radio. Or I think one medium sits next to another rather than supplants it. So I think there are all sorts of things that the interactive medium can do that books can't. But at the end of the day, there's one little bit of arithmetic that I can't help but notice, which is that many years ago, I did a game based on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and that was in the days of text-only adventure games. And it was myself and Steve Moretsky who wrote it together, the two of us, over a period of about 6 months. So 2 people, 6 months, and we sold them for about $40 a pop. That's American dollars, and sold about 1/3 of them. Starship Titanic took about 20 or 30 people 2 years and sold for about $40 a pop, and we will probably end up selling about 1/3 of them. And you think the arithmetic is slightly off here, isn't it?
Yes. So it's a game, not a novel.
No, it's interactive fiction, it's a novel, it's a game, it's whatever you want to call it.
So it's a natural medium, you think?
I think so. I mean, at the moment, it's still very, very technological in the following sense of the word technology, that technology is stuff that doesn't quite work yet.
I've noticed.
No, well, you see, the thing is, Bran Ferren actually makes this point. He says that a chair used to be technology when we were still trying to figure it out. Now that we've got a chair down, we no longer think of it as technology. We just think of it as a chair. But computers are still technology because we're still wrestling with it. So it's still being invented, and we're still trying to work out how it works.
So, okay, imagine that the technology has ceased to be stupid and is really, really effective, and you're still writing in about 2020. What might this new medium be like?
My feeling is that if you cast all this forward, then something fundamentally different will change, which is that at the moment we tend to see these games, these interactive fictions, whatever you want to call them, as being things that happen between a player and a machine, a prepared machine, a program machine. Whereas I think what will happen is gradually the machine comes out of it, or merely becomes the medium through which other people play with other people. So it becomes like a kind of forum where role-playing or whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure that there's a world of game interaction that you or I almost wouldn't recognise because it's going to be so different from anything we know now.
Would it be almost as if you're there with the characters?
Yeah, I think so.
Rather than there with the machine.
I think so. I mean, I think the machines really, it's time for the machines to disappear. We've had enough of these machines.
Yes.
We just want them to go away, do their job out of sight. I mean, many, many years ago, I remember we were all supposed to get very excited about electric motors. We were all meant to be electric motor literate, and you would see pictures of sort of the house of the future, which have a giant electric motor up in the roof, and there would be belts going around driving machines, and everybody would have to sort of think about torque values and all this kind of stuff. But none of that happened because essentially the electric motor disappears into everything we use. We never think about electric motors. We never see them, and that's what the computer's got to do. It's got to disappear into all the things that we use and make them smarter and more intelligent, and just get the hell out of the way.